One of the unique things about this course is I'm trying to teach you the things that you need to know to do all these things on your own and not need me. The next exercise we're going to do is a Smith machine incline press. Where we're going to have the incline is between 30 and 45 degrees. I talked about in the previous videos, if you scroll down or you look at the technique videos, that as you incline a bench, for every incline you go up, you're going to have a little bit less chest and more shoulder. So the optimal bench position to get maximal chest contraction is 30 to 45 degrees. Beyond that, you start getting more and more shoulder. Now, that's not inherently wrong or bad. It just means you're going to lose a little chest recruitment. So I'm going to bias towards around 30 to 45 degrees. What I want to show you is how we align your body in a Smith machine, because this is a little different. A Smith machine is it's a locked in plane. So this specific exercise compared to a dumbbell you have all this wiggle room to move up and down this way. With a Smith machine, we have to cater to the plane that we're locked into due to the machine. Now, this provides benefit and comes with some things that aren't necessarily as beneficial. This just makes it different than a dumbbell. What is beneficial about this is this adds stability. So if you're new to lifting, this takes a control component out of the picture and gives you a little bit more stability to work with for the press. If you're somebody who wants to push the weight a little bit, this provides more stability to allow you to push the weight a little bit more, and it gives you a safety locking mechanism to where you don't need a spotter and you can push yourself a little bit harder and not worry about it. So there are benefits of this machine that don't come with dumbbells, but there's also, you lose some benefits because there is also benefit to having that control mechanism and being able to orient the resistance differently because of all this degrees of freedom that you have to work with. So how do you position yourself on a Smith machine to get in the proper position? The biggest thing to know is I want to show you something within the joint. You have to position your body so that we align the forces optimally up with your shoulder. So I want to show you something in this joint. So in this joint, the further out your elbow is this way, you've got this bone right here. This is called the greater tubercle of your humerus. As I take, we name this guy Charlie, as I take Charlie's arm, out this way, do you see how this bone gets closer and closer with this bone? We have these tendons in here, and the further up I go out this way, the more I'm mashing these tendons together. So if I can create a little space in the joint by positioning Charlie here, I'm going to have less stress on the shoulder joint. So we want to align yourself front to back to where you can have your elbow tucked under the bar and keep your forearm congruent with the bar. So I'm going to show you how to do that. But the first thing I wanted to show you was on the skeleton why this is important and how you align yourself up on the bench, because this does impact your shoulder joint. So I'm not just being, really anal for no reason. I've got specific reasons of how I'm going to line you up, and I'm going to show you that next. So you walk into the gym, the machine is not set up. Where do you start? How do we do this thing? Well, you have to guess at first as to where to put this bench and then kind of play with it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to take this bench, I'm going to scoot it back, and I'm going to overly bias this too far this way. I pretty much know where to go, but I'm going to show you a few wrong positions. So if I get in this thing here with this bench pretty far back, and I get under the bar, well, I have my elbows tucked under me, which is that same position that I told you we do kind of want. But I have to really fight to keep my elbows under the bar here. Like, this is a lot of work for me to really keep my elbows tucked in. Like, I'm almost something like to pinch them underneath. So I would say this is too far back this way. So if I scoop my bench forward, here. Now I'm going to bias the opposite way. And I overcompensate. Well, this sure as hell isn't going to be right because look at where my shoulder joint is now. I mean, I can't even get in the right spot, and this is setting myself up for impingement here. So if I push the bench back a little bit more and play with this, right here, I'm tucked under the bar. This is really comfortable, and I can stay in the plane. So you see how my elbow is kind of tucked under? I'm not flared out. This is that position that I had Charlie in the skeleton where all the joint forces are congruent, and you can stay in a really good path of motion here. So you have to play with the position front to back. Too far back. Too far forward. I'm going to slide it back a little bit more. Now I can stay tucked under the bar. Look at your elbow, forearm, hand. Look, one straight line. Hand, elbow, forearm. That's what you want right here. That's how you know if you're in the right spot. I'm not out here like this. I'm not under here like this. I'm right underneath. This is where you want to be. Okay, now let's play with your hand position as far as how wide you want to be. If you watch the back videos, you'll notice how I talked about at the widest part of your pull down, you want to be at 90 degrees with the pull down bar as far as your hand position. It's the same thing here. So I'm at the lowest point of my press and I'm around 90 degrees. You don't want to be too far in this way and you don't want to be too far out this way. I'm not at 90, not at 90, here I'm at 90. This is just a very good general rule of thumb for an incline press. You can do the press other ways to maximize your tricep more. You can do like a tricep press. That's not what we're doing today, so I'm not going to get distracted with that. So 90 degrees is the bottom part of the range. We went over the position front to back. I want to go over one more thing, and that's going to be how do you know how low to go? So as you lower this thing, one of the benefits of time under tension is you get to really feel through your range. Everybody has different shoulder ranges of motion. So if I'm controlling this bar, as I get to right through here, I'm gonna feel through how does my shoulder feel? Do I have any more range? And can I still feel tension on my chest? I can get to about right here, feel a pretty solid chest stretch, and there's no discomfort on my shoulder here. So this is a fine range of motion for me. But you may be one of those people that you get to about right in here and you start having some shoulder discomfort, or maybe you don't have any more range. That's okay. There's no specific, you have to go in this range of motion or that range of motion. It's all individual and it's all based on your anatomy. Everybody has different available ranges and you have to respect your range. So no matter what range I go through, I want you to respect your range and your anatomy, and that's what all this is dictated on. That's why this is a training course that is advanced. This is not some bullshit, $39.99 course. This is a $300 plus course for a reason, because I'm freaking taking my time to walk you through shit. And why am I doing that? It's because I know my shit, and most people don't. It takes a lot of, it's really hard to coach these things. So that's why I encourage you to, you're going to see multiple videos in this thing. You're going to see a plethora of videos for a reason, to learn how to freaking position yourself on these. I don't ever go to the gyms and see people position correctly. I would have done anything to have a freaking video tell me how to freaking position the bench. I don't see this kind of shit on YouTube. It's all about how do you do the most advanced 5-day workout split? Well, if you don't know how to position the bench, why the does a 5-day workout split matter? I mean, talk about losing our focus. Like, learn how to do your and then we can talk about, an advanced split. If I thought people knew their I wouldn't be doing this. So anyway, let's get started. Sorry for that random tangent, but it blows my mind, the people moving on and ignoring all this. This is the freaking bread and butter right here. So don't ignore these videos. Let's get started. Let's go with set number one.